Hey guys, it's Vincent with vascotoys. On today's episode of Action Vasco, I'm going to be showing you my latest commissioned diorama piece, which is actually my first ever throne diorama, and it is a Predator throne for Daredevil 19, somebody who has commissioned several dioramas with us at this point, so we thank him for that. And with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at this diorama. So here we have my Predator throne that I created for Daredevil 19 as a commission. It is made completely out of XPS foam except for the 3D printed skulls, which are made out of PLA, 3D printed on my King Rune KP3 printer, like I print all of my diorama props and accessories. So the diorama is two main parts, and then it has these three 3D printed skulls on it. So we have the throne and the base, and the throne, just give you guys kind of the 360. It does have a little vascotoys logo on the back, and it has these little embellishment decoration pieces on the side just to give it a little bit more character. I did create some other decorative detail pieces, and then I have this Predator logo up on diorama as well. So Daredevil 19 wanted this for his display, so this is not really going to be as much of a toy photography piece, I don't think, for him, unless he has a larger diorama that he's going to put it in. But it is, pretty much meant to display some of his Predator figures. I know he's got an impressive collection of Predators, so he is going to be getting this so he can use it to display them. With that said, let's take a look at a couple different figures next to this throne. Okay, so this is the only Predator figure I have. I'm not a huge Predator collector. This was given to me as a gift by my brother-in-law, and it's definitely really cool. I only have the one, and I have him standing because it's the Ahab Ultimate Edition Predator figure by NECA, and he's not really able to sit because of this loincloth piece that he has on behind him, so he's not really able to sit, but he still looks really cool standing, with the skull in his hand especially, and he was really useful in creating the diorama for scaling reasons, of course, just to make sure that it made sense in terms of the size of the figure. So he was a good reference piece for me, so I have him here in the diorama, and then I'm also going to give you guys a look at some Marvel Legends next to it. Now, the Predator figures are much larger than the Legends, and it's really designed to work with Predator, but I'm just going to show you guys for comparison reasons. They're not really going to be in scale. Okay, so now I've got my Marvel Legends Thanos, comic version of Thanos here next to the throne, and you can see the Predator as well next to the throne. And honestly, they are, Thanos is obviously a bigger Marvel Legend figure, and they're pretty close to the same height. The Predator's a little bit bigger than he is, but Thanos, he can kind of sit in the throne, but it's a little bit too deep for him. His legs aren't quite as long. And he's honestly not super easy, at least for mine is not super easy to pose and to get him into a sitting position. So he definitely looks good, and you'll see some of the pictures with the throne, aside from the fact that it has a Predator logo on it. But we could make one that doesn't have the Predator logo on it for him. That would not be a problem. And then I also wanted to put Doctor Doom in here just as a size reference for you guys as well. Now he is definitely smaller than the Predator and Thanos. He's standing up on the ledge, and he's still not as tall as they are. But I thought, everybody, especially when this Marvel Legends Doctor Doom figure came out, everybody started making thrones for him, and I definitely want to do that at some point for mine, but I haven't yet. So this is actually the first throne that I've ever made. So there they are, the Predator, Thanos, and Doctor Doom, for comparison size for you guys in with the throne. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the paint job on this piece. So with this, I did black wash the piece because I was envisioning this as a stone throne that would have, kind of a grayscale to it. So there's just a couple different things I did with this. The whole thing was dry brushed, as you can kind of see. But so I started with the black wash just to get that first coat of paint on there to cover up the pink. And then the next thing I did was I took and I actually have the colors with me this time. I took this gray acrylic paint, and I applied that as the first color coat on the diorama. Then once that was done, I took this heather gray and I actually applied a full coat over the entire thing with it pretty lightly, but then I did go over certain areas like this and a lot of the detail areas, and also around the armrest, and you can see it on the back there where it is a little bit more heavy-handed with that color, just to kind of make it have sort of a more intrigue in terms of shading. And then the last thing that I did was I took this Anita's, I think it's their rich brown color, and I just went over the areas that I felt like would make sense to have a little bit of dirt on them. So the base piece has it along the edging. There's some along the bottom part of this pillar area. There's some here. There's some in the back. I don't know if you guys can tell, but just tried to give it a little bit of a dirtiness to it, because if this was a stone throne, and even on the Predator logo up here, there's some, that would lead it to have, some dirt to it over time, just accumulating on that stone surface. So that's what I did with those. And then just to give you guys another little tip on my painting of the skulls, I just used, basically I printed these skulls. When I first printed them, I used black PLA paint, and then I did 2 coats of dry brushing with this acrylic paint. And then after that was done, I took this, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, this color, and I really applied a very, very light amount of that on a dry brush, just to kind of give it a little bit of an older look, as if the skulls had been lying around. I didn't want them to be pure white. And because I started with the black PLA, it looks like there's a little bit of shading there. Just kind of happened naturally from the paint job. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Action Vasco, where we took a look at our Predator Throne diorama that we created for Daredevil 19. Please go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know what you thought of the diorama, and if you have any ideas of things that we should be working on in the future. And other than that, we'll see you guys on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at vascotoys, and in the next episode. Thanks, guys.